as though has been the statement piece to show Travys Harper was here. What's your trademark?
My trademark.
Today we are live at Atlanta Metropolitan State College in Atlanta, Georgia, where more than 100 trees are about to be planted across campus. Now, at first glance, that may not sound unusual, but the man standing beside me today has spent years helping shape parts of Atlanta that millions of people interact with every year, often without ever knowing his name. But that changes today. Today's guest is Travys Harper, founder of Harpscape Environmental Design. His work spans environmental infrastructure, urban forestry, workforce development, and community impact. From projects connected to the Atlanta Beltline to the initiatives that have created opportunities for young people across the city.
There you go.
Travys has built a career in a space most people rarely think about until they realize how much it affects their everyday lives. What intrigued me most about Travys wasn't just the work itself. It was the question his story raises.
It's all the environment.
What happens when someone chooses to build value in places other people overlook? Today, we're talking about leadership, entrepreneurship, community, environmental stewardship, and the unconventional path that led Travys Harper to become one of the people quietly helping shape the future of Atlanta. We're about to make it real loud. I am Chrissy L, and this is Rich Unconventionally. Because sometimes the most impactful stories aren't the ones making the most noise. They're the ones quietly changing the world around us. Let's step into Travys's world. So with all those trees specifically, what would you say was the significance of actually planting them here at Atlanta Metro College?
Well, that's what the contract called for. But also within that, Atlanta, you know what the nickname of Atlanta is?
Hold on.
Not Hot Atlanta, it ain't that.
Look, I wasn't gonna say ATL either. Wait, Metro City.
That's one. Let me give you a little more specific. Do you know what the environmental nickname of the city is?
Give me a guess.
That's Stewart Forest. It is a blank in the forest. So when you fly into Atlanta and you look out, you fly to New York City or to a bigger city, and you look out, what do you see most of? Do you see more trees or do you see more buildings when you fly out to other cities?
Sometimes it depends. You can see a mix of both.
What do you see more of here when you fly into Atlanta? Do you see more trees when you fly into Atlanta? Or do you see more buildings when you fly into Atlanta?
I believe I see more trees.
So it's the city in the forest. Atlanta's known as the city in the forest.
Okay.
There's no other metropolis city around the United States of America that has an urban canopy like the city of Atlanta. We have an old growth forest. These forests have been around since the Civil War. So very deep, rich history of trees connected to the land, being in the South, you know, how trees are connected to, Jim Crow, all that horrible incidents and so forth. But being melanated, I feel we also always come from the earth, as you can see. So trees don't scare me because most folks have that historical mind of what we've been done with us through trees. It's like, that's not what it's always been. We've always been connected to the earth. We've always been connected to the soil. We were the ones outside chilling, picking cotton, planting fruit, planting foods and produce. So me being outside, I feel it's deeply and connected to my ancestral, native lineage and heritage. So being that we're in the city of the forest, we planting these 111 trees on all this open green space is adding to the canopy's coverage. Adding more trees. That means they have to survive, they have to maintain, they have to take care of them, they have to not get hit by car, come and hang on them and break the branches and they get sick, So like we had to cut down, we had to remove along this walkway, we had to remove 5 trees, these are copias. They died. It's not the best quality of a tree. I won't say it's a bad tree, but it's not the best quality of a tree. So we fly up along this pathway, got to replace it with crepe myrtles. So adding to the canopy, the city of Atlanta, something unique to the city of Atlanta. Once the trees are all cut down, they're done.
And what do you feel like for each tree that you're planting? What do you feel like it actually brings back to the environment outside of every tree bringing back oxygen, but also too even being used for paper, being used for fruits being planted as well? What do you feel like the connection is for the trees that you're currently planting over here right now?
It expands the business's footprint. It gives me a landmark where I can mention to people where to go see my trees outside of the Beltline. The Beltline was just one of my main hubs, but you know, there's so many different parts and it isn't fully complete yet. So it adds to that. And also, what I experience is a lot of our people, black people, melanated people, they are intrigued with seeing other melanated people out here planting trees, living with the earth. Because we know in this day and age, not many of us are out here planting. Not many of us out here digging holes, moving buckets. You know, so it's a unique experience. Not sure if everybody else feels this way, but that's how I feel. And I think that having those people see that is it's powerful. Not sure what they be thinking, but I know I like what I do. I love what I do. So I hope they enjoy that I'm putting them in. People stopping. One of the professors came out the other day, last week when we were planting back on the backside, and was mentioning about how he loved to see us out here planting trees. I was like, yeah, I'm trying to get over out here. So.
I was just about to say, because I remember you pretty much mentioning that you are giving back and actually integrating it in a system where there's internships for students, also too summer programming as well, where you're giving back, and also where the program is actually not only beneficial for them to learn about financial literacy, but also too for them to get paid, also to learn other skills outside of planting that further helps the students know how to actually socialize too. So I will say, since there are so many people who are inspired by what you're doing, and also too who are giving you your big ups right now, what do you feel like you need more so from the community to further get them involved in a project like this, and also too to bring more people on?
I think I have the exposure, but it's always good to have exposure. I would say more education, just education of what I'm doing. You know, come out here and see. We all in bucket, we got shovels, we got pickaxes and so forth. We got heavy machinery over there, but you see us with the machinery, and it seems like it seems like a lot of work doesn't go into it. People don't see this side of it. You know, I got a whole folder of work that has to go into before we put the tree in the ground. We have to find where we're gonna put the tree. Get it scanned, because we might hit an underground utility. That pink spray paint marker right there, that's some type of underground utility.
Yeah.
So maybe gas, maybe water, maybe telephone. I mean gas, light, telephone, cable, fiber optic. It's kind of hard to find water. So it isn't just only manual labor.
Right.
So that's why I say with the education, getting in front of different schools, going to career days, going to different events that people can bring my company in to be able to speak to the youth or even young adults who are trying to make a pivot or find a career. Like, come out here and try this. You might like it. And this is just what I'm good at. There's a lot of other things within the urban forestry field that has technology as well. It isn't just shovels and pickaxes and stuff like that. Most of it. It also includes, once I finish planting every tree, I have to go back and GPS plot it. So basically, I'll have a map on my phone. I'll walk around to each tree and plot it. This is a crepe myrtle planted on February 14th. 3 mulch buckets Then in the springtime, I have to come maintain them, I have to come water. They have to stay alive. You don't just put a tree in the ground and leave it alone. So I have to come water these in the springtime when it gets warm because they go on the leaf out. Start looking real pretty and showy and start to establish and take root in their new homes. So I would say education and exposure are my top two on that list of how to get more people involved. People in my career have expressed their knowledge of what they think goes into it, but it's like until you actually get out here and do it, it doesn't really connect with them. So have them come do volunteer events. I would love that, and just mix with the exposure and education. I think more people will be able to come out and understand you need more trees. Not only does it give us oxygen, it cleans the air, so the air quality raises up. As you can see, we can hear the 85 right here. Throughout the day, planes are taking off because the airport is right over there. Hartsville is right over there. So it's not only for the oxygen, what also helps to purify the air. Any tree, like the dead trees that we had to cut down, clean the air quality, not improving the air quality. But these 111 trees that we're going to plant on this campus will improve the air quality. So
since you are planting 111 trees over here, I will ask you this too, because I know you planted over 800 plus trees now in the city of Atlanta. So I will say, since you mentioned you having to water them and whatnot, pretty much what does that process look like with you going through all of the city of Atlanta? Because we know that you've done some through Piedmont. We know you've done a lot through Piedmont, but also too through the whole city of Atlanta and other places.
right.
When you are watering the trees, what does that process look like? Because I'm like, okay, most of the time I feel like most of us think once the tree is planted, okay, we are relying on the earth to actually replenish
It gets a little help, but it's not everything.
Yeah.
Like the rain that's coming, I was speaking of earlier. I'm glad that it's coming because it saves me a watering trip.
Right.
Yet I can't install more, so it's a give and take. It's a balance. I battle with it all the time because my father used to say, the weather and God are our real bosses. If it rains, it's like, no work today. If it's too cold, no work today.
Look,
So
get a free car wash.
there you go, get a free car wash. Yeah. So it has its benefits. A lot of people say, oh my goodness, it's raining. It's like in my industry, thank God it's raining. So I have a water tank that can fit on the bed of the truck or a trailer. Usually I put around a trailer. I have a water pump, fill the water up, use fire hydrants. That's another thing I gotta do. I gotta locate the fire hydrants. I don't see one over here, matter of fact. But we use the fire hydrants to fill up, or one of my partners that I work with, Travys Harper, they have a rain barrel system. So fill up the water tank on my trailer, on my truck. I got a water pump because I can't take my truck way up there. On one drive across the grass, anything. So when it's far like that, and not close like this, like I can pull up right here with the water truck, a water hose, turn on the water pump, pump out the tank, water way out there, out the bucket. So trees of this magnitude, this size, would be 5-gallon bucket per inch. So the Home Depot buckets or a Lowe's bucket, 5-gallon bucket, I'll just fill it up with the water, take it, carry it out there, water 2 to 3 times. And I do that 2 or 3 times a week. So if I did it on Monday, I'll come back on Wednesday or Thursday to do another. And it depends on how hot it is. As you see, it's still cold in the morning. It's probably getting about the 60s now. Early, late afternoon, late morning, early afternoon. So as it heats up even more in springtime, I have to do it more frequently. At a maintenance, that's peak season maintenance. That includes, let's say some of the trees start leaning. They just planted, the soil isn't hard, compacted like it was. And I would have to stake them, make sure they don't lean and tip over. Storm come through or anything happens, I prone them. When they get to growing, they go grow in their natural state, but we also have to prune to be able to make sure that there's room for the branches, for all of the branches to grow. Because the branch starts out this thick, eventually it's going to get this thick. You know, as it keeps growing. So if you got two branches that's growing against each other, that's not a uh, good sign for a tree that can cause disease, damage, canker sores, it can cause serious issues. So to prevent that, we do preventative maintenance, which is during water season. I'm not planting in. The best time to plant trees are from October to March, April, no later than April, the first week of April, because that's when they start to leaf out. That's when you'll start seeing the white flowers, the pink flowers, and all the flower trees are going to start blossoming out. And they're uptaking water and energy, so we want to feed them water so they can continue to thrive and get established. It takes about 2 years for these trees. About 2 years, 2 seasons, 2 years, these trees will be established, meaning they won't need any assistance of mine anymore to water. The only thing I would come out is probably weed around the base or prune them if a tree branch dies or branch breaks, or however, just monitoring after that, and then let them go be going with the earth again.
Wow.
Yeah.
So pretty much, since we had that whole process together, I do wonder this. Whenever it comes to planting a tree, so many times we think of just digging a hole. And I'm back to what you said, where you have to figure out where the tree needs to be structured, because you never know if it's gas, a telephone pole, or even, you need to make sure that it's water that is under that level. So it does make me wonder, what is your process and how do you even figure that out?
When we came out, so back to the list, as I was mentioning about overstory, mid-story, and understory trees. The overstory trees, you want to be out as wide as you can.
Right.
I wouldn't plant an overstory tree somewhere close to a building because it's going to get huge. It's going to get taller than the building. I'll plant a mid to understory tree. So we're coming out, walking, spray paint. You see that's white, spray paint for until we find the site where we want to put a tree. It's an open corner. It looks beautiful. We love to have a tree right there. So spray paint. Scan, just make sure we so find out the right tree, right place. That's what we all know. Security, walk the campus, we walk all the way back there. We walk the campus, we set the trees, make sure we got what they're saying. Then scan, utility scan comes out. They scan all 111. So when they come and scan, some of them we might have to move because I don't think we had to move it. We had to move. I didn't have to move too many. Probably about it was less than 10 that I had to move on utility prior to. So once we found out, let's say for instance, this one was on the gas line. Utility company, they scan at least 5 feet off. So 6 feet radius. Scan. So scan for 6 feet off. Once that gets done, let's say we have to move. So we'll know where on stuff. So it's okay. There's nothing back there. There's nothing back there. Let's just move the tree. More than likely, if we find the gas line, as you saw with that red line, it tells me that the line is running that way. I don't need them to spray paint all the way into the street, but enough of the area so I know utilities or some type of utility. So once they do that, we move around, get our final locations where the trees are going to be planted, where they're going to be right forever home. And see the equipment.
And pretty much since I know you did go to Auburn University.
Yes.
So I was wondering, as I'm listening to you talk right now, I'm starting to notice since you're not just sticking a tree anywhere.
Right.
A lot of us do not think of that. But the thing is, I was wondering, what were your classes like? And what do you feel like actually grounded you and helped you as far as learning not only how to plant a tree, but actually where to segment it, also too where to design it at, the location, the style of tree that belongs in a location.
So it's a mix of education and career experience.
Right.
Meaning, my late father started landscaping business in the early 2000s. So I already had the work ethic of working outside, working with trees, working with plants, gardening, cutting grass. We would plant trees, but they were never this size. They were, some you get from Home Depot or a box store. Some you can carry. We do it like that. But Auburn, undergrad was environmental design, school of architecture. So I went to be an architect, saw how intense it was. And environmental design was a new major that they had created. And I was like, well, since I worked with my father in the landscaping business, see how this go. I like to do architecture. I did architecture. I go back further. My senior year, I went to a technical high school, and I did architecture in my senior year. Kind of career tech high school. I was from my regular high school to this high school to take that had, and then Maxwell High School of Technology was the name of in that county. Mm-hmm. So did that in high school my senior year, loved it. See, I want to be an architect. Went to Auburn, was accepted to Auburn, went to Auburn. Started taking the courses, found out how rigorous it was. I'm like, hold on, this is strenuous. So talked with my family, and then just started doing some searching. Like, okay, I know how to do the environment, work out in the environment. And the environmental design degree came along. Transferred into that. All my credits transferred, and I stuck with that. And that is where I got my environmental design. Sharpened my environmental design skill set. Now, graduated. We done worked at Trees Atlanta. They are a well-known nonprofit in the city of Atlanta. They educate and protect and the environment around the city of Atlanta, trees in the city of Atlanta. And so that's where I learned the technicalities of right tree, right place, overstory, mid-story, understory trees, the scientific name of trees. So if I say, let's say, an oak tree, I say, yeah, I want to plant an oak tree. Well, in Georgia, there's over 350 different species of oaks. So what type of oak tree do you want? And so with that career experience, they gave me the technicalities of how to go through and determine and figure out specific trees, right place. That's one of their mottos when I was employed with them. And it runs true all over the world for me, because you have to have plant the right tree in the right place. If you want a tree that loves sun, like a sweet baby magnolias, they're out in the middle of the open, get the sun right now, I wouldn't plant those trees up against the building. They wouldn't thrive. That's not their natural environment. So what I'm doing as an arborist and environmentalist, I'm planting trees in their habitats to mimic the natural way you'll find them in the natural in the wild. And so did that, career exploded, worked on the Beltline, the Atlanta Beltline. First time was the West Side Beltline Trail, which is one of the most diverse portions of the Beltline currently, because it has a lot of different, it can facilitate a lot of different plant species. So it mimics a bog garden over there, a wetland, stream restorations, some mountainous areas. So you can plant a lot of different species of trees. There are a lot of different species of trees on the West Side Beltline because the soil can facilitate a lot of those different species, more so than the others so far. And Eventually, I did the South Side Trail, Northeast Trail, the East Side Extension Trail. So I'm kind of pleased with the Beltline. So this is fun for me. This is new for me because it's I never planned on the campus before, especially a known college campus. Atlanta Metro State College is part of the University of Georgia system, so it's a 4-year degree college. So it's a real university. So this is once again, as I mentioned earlier, this opened my palate to higher education plantings, institutional plantings. And then again, back to being melanated. I mean, do you see outside planting when you go to any of these construction sites, any of these planting sites? There's not many of us out there, so that's a big representation. Did my work in green infrastructure, built a lot at Trees Atlanta. That's where I learned, got my environmental education. I was teaching the kids the summer. They would come work with me for 8 weeks in the summer. And I would teach them how to maintain trees, how to identify trees. For the summer, did that when I was employed, and then ended up getting recruited to go back and get my master's in construction management. And when I got that, back it all. And I graduated full time business owner, and is a blessing because I'm literally doing the same things I was doing when I was employed. It's literally there's almost the only things that's different is I'm employed. I got to take on everything, even the bad stuff where it's like, oh man, like I said, you see me early. Yeah, I was a little, my feathers were a little ruffled, just trying to process everything, and it's like I can't. Can you help me with this? I'm the only help, so I able to figure that out and just get myself into the mode of this is what I chose to pursue. This is what I was going to do. My father did the same thing, which is being a business owner. So it's already in me. So it's like, okay, well, I gotta take it on. So got that master's, came back, and it's really been a blessing because everything's been growing. It's been up. It's been growing. It's been sustaining, and the contracts impact your life. And a lot of my relationships I did from working previously, they transition up with me, transfer with me, and it's I'm thankful.
And how long have you been in business exactly for yourself?
2 years now. Yeah, 2 years now. Yeah, 2 years now. Yeah. My father passed in 2020. I inherited, went through the grieving processes, uh, got it started here in Georgia, and then just slowly built it. We started as a side hustle. I was employed, just had it as a side hustle, and then just once again building those relationships, those contacts, those small projects here, small projects there, and then it grew to when I went back for my to graduate school. That's when I started. The final piece was uh, I found the final piece by going back through the master's program. Luckily, it was on scholarships, so uh, got that done, and that's what the final piece was. How do I get projects like this? How do I pursue contracts? How do I do bids? Who has the money? How do I find the people who have money for projects like this? A lot of these projects, and that's another thing. It's another thing I noticed about being full-time business owner, entrepreneur. Uh, it's a lot more of these contracts and projects that are just waiting because there are not a lot of me, people who can properly put trees in, people who do B&Bs. This is low impact development. It's still construction. I'm bring my machine over here so y'all can see my machine. I'm still using heavy machine equipment, the machines you see on the construction site. See, I have a safety vest on, my safety glasses. It's steel toe boots. It's still construction. It's just on a lower impact level, but these are still needed because these projects may be too small for a larger company who has 45 employees. It's like somebody like me who got less than 10. That's a big project for me.
Meaningful change is rarely happening while you're alone. It happens when people come together around a shared mission, when organizations combine their expertise, their resources, and their vision. That's why Harpscape Environmental Design is actively searching for partnerships with conservation organizations, environmental nonprofits, sustainability initiatives, educational institutions, and mission driven groups throughout the southeastern region. When the right people come together, communities benefit. If your organization is looking for a partner who believes in creating lasting impact, let's start the conversation. Visit www.harpscapeenvironmental.com to learn more. Also, don't forget to tell them that Chrissy sent you.
So being in those medium to small spaces are where I thrive at, and also new things, new projects that are coming up. A lot of the projects that I did throughout my career they were pilot programs. The first time that they doing this, first time they doing that, first time they doing this, and it's continued on into it started. I noticed it when I was employed, and it started and it continued when I became full-time business owner. So I was like, well, I guess that's my strong suit. If there's anything new, I'll try it.
So I will say even this, because I want to go back to the simple fact of how you kept in contact with people and you built connections. So, this is Rich Unconventionally docu-series. So for our listeners out there who are either struggling or at least feel like keeping communication, also to keep in contact, because we hear that so often right now, what exactly would you say is the process of that for me?
Okay. Well, my process was being with an organization. Well, first off, coming from my father, watching my father build his business and how he built his relationship. Started landscaping and ended up growing from there. But when you build relationships with people, it's not just about the money, it's about the quality and the product that you're leaving. You want others to see your work because of someone else who has let you do a project on their house or on their property or whatever it may be. Watching how his relationships built and how I watched him with, he had 20-year clients that he had, and just they watched me grow up and he watched their kids grow up, and being able to ask him and discuss with him, like, how do you sustain this? How do you listen to him while we ride around the truck? Like, this is one of my good customers. I had to let that customer go because there are different reasons why, where it's like, okay, if I'm bringing a professional business service, I want the same back from the customer or homeowner. And so having that, to be able to say no to some people as well, so you can grow. Now with me, when I got to professionalism, the professional career, going through school, we really didn't do a lot of hands-on like this as far as doing plantings and actual installing stuff. We did good relationships in school, so it really wasn't hands-on. It was more, we talked about it, we went and seen people who were doing it, but we didn't actually do it.
Right.
So once graduated from undergrad, came to work, that's when the relationship started building, because I realized that there was an industry inside the industry, meaning landscaping. You know, a lot of landscaping people who cut grass, do that, okay? That's the foundation. But then when you come up, what you have arborists, urban forestry, silviculture, agroforestry, green infrastructure, stormwater management, wetland restoration, environmental education. But I didn't find that out until I got with an organization that had a hand in all of that. I was like, oh, okay, I can go this way. Oh, okay, I can go this way. Oh, okay, I can go this way. And working with a nonprofit, Travys Harper, wear many hats. So, like I mentioned, summertime, I'm an environmental educator, and I was like, I never educated before. I never been a teacher before. I never want to be a teacher. And they're like, well, you know the information. You just got to teach them. I was like, all right, well, let's see how it goes. And it worked. So I was like, okay, now I'm an environmental educator. And so, even with the stormwater management, the wetland restoration, with the wetland restoration, we dealing with water. It's like, okay, I didn't know that water was this important until you get into a wetland restoration or organization that has that to a high standard of protecting the soil, protecting the water, protecting the tree, protecting the environment on that scale. Most people want to do something, but they don't know where to start. Where can I start to take care of the environment? Where can I start to help out and make the environment better? Well, volunteer. That's the best place to start, is volunteering. Then with relationships, my work spoke for itself. And I would show up, work with people, or work with organizations, collaborate, projects would get done on time, wouldn't be behind, people like working with me. And these are things that I've gotten told back to me because when I was previously employed, we get evaluations. So, people leave reviews, we love working with Travis, or can't wait to work with Travis again. And so they relay those messages to me, even though the volunteer may say them on the survey. They're like, Travis, this is what they said about your project. I was like, oh, okay. So let me keep doing more of that because I want more of that. And so having that feedback, that rubric, that grading scale of how good am I with people. And so that let me know, like, okay, let me get more into these relationships and see what else is available that I can utilize and build and grow on it. Here I am planting 11 trees off relationships.
So pretty much when you were building relationships, and the people were able to come back to you with your work and just knowing the process of how you do things, what was that strategy as far as making sure that the relationship was still nurtured?
Keeping in touch throughout while I was gone for grad school, keeping in touch when I got done, popping in, still going to networking events, still going to conferences, still going to any type of meetup of my industry. I'm in the environmental industry, the conservation industry, so there's no need for me to go to a marketing network conference. They're not planting trees, they're not restoring wetlands, they're not doing stream restoration. So when I did go back for grad school, I connected with the forestry and urban forestry department, wildlife department on campus. Although I wasn't studying that, it was my professional career. So when I went back graduate school, I'm studying construction, knowing that construction does involve landscape. They building a new building, they will put some trees and grass out here. So I'm still connected with that. But it's like, what are y'all doing over in the College of Forestry and Wildlife at Auburn? Went over there, got connected with Miss Michelle, and started working with her. She started putting me in connection with more people, and I'm able to give what I got, speak on what I'm able to do and what I've done, what I'm willing to do, what I want to do at that time. And so those relationships were built from there. And then once I graduated, then more people start staying in connection. Like, I just graduated, or I'm looking to build my business. Do you know of any contracts? Or I'm looking to do this type of work. Do you know any leads on that? So those just turned into more information of where I needed to go to get these contracts and get these bids and these different people. So relationships are more than just people coming together and connecting. They can also change the trajectory of one's life if you're taking, the right path. You can't just be using people and abusing people and expect to excel. It's not going to work. And it's sometimes where I'm giving up more than I feel in the moment that I'm getting in return, but the return isn't in that moment. It's down the road, down the line, and it comes in the form of 111 trees, or a wetland restoration and doing a floating treatment wetland, or doing green infrastructure, or so you can't be relationships. You can't be looking to extract right then. Sometimes you gotta invest or deposit first, let it stack, let it compound, and then you withdraw, or your return will come in ways you never imagined. So your relationships are one of my key points that has kept me in business, kept me striving in business. For 2 years. So 120, going to now.
And that's great. And pretty much since you have been so successful with relationship building, but also too, even just being able within your 2 years to start this system where you're even involving high school students, you're even involving internships into this, but also too, as we see, you were able to do 800 plus trees on the belt line of Piedmont Park, and now here you are moving on to college campuses.
Right.
Obviously that has been such a strong suit for you, but now what do you feel as though has been the statement piece to show Travys Harper was here? What's your trademark?
My trademark. Yeah, that's a heavy question. I haven't thought that far yet.
Look, that was a good one, girl.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, that's a good one. I'm stumped right now.
I'm putting it on pause.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
You got to work on that one, Miss Travys.
Yeah, I gotta
Look, because what did you tell me yesterday? You said, look, you can get this part because.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me go. Okay.
Look, because you said you want the world to know that you're the biggest, the largest. Look, big X plug.
Yeah, yeah.
But you said that you wanted the world to know, number one, not only that you're rare, but also, two, you want the world to know you were here. So where do you feel like you have been putting in that work at?
I think overall, we'll go overall hat just for this purpose is I am a forward-thinking, forward progressive, always pushing the envelope conservationist, meaning if it's dealing with the water, the air, the soil, plants, I'm a guy who can bring that a high quality of any of those industries. I'm in a niche now. I'm in a very small niche, so that's how that also helps why I stand out within it. If I was an accountant or something less precise of what I'm doing, it would be that. But being that I'm in this niche already that most folks, the average person, doesn't know about, being that I do it so well when I mention the belt line and I'm like I said, I'm dropping name dropping. How you ain't heard? I just not hear about this. Yeah, it's 10 years in this now. Just like when they look back, they'll still be able to enjoy what I plan. Like I'm still, like I showed you the video. I'm still. Here we go. Okay, it's coming to me now. I want my product to be forever fruitful. On everything that I do, whether it's wetland restoration, green infrastructure, stormwater management, urban forestry, agroforestry, I want my product to be fruitful. Not just for me, as far as money-wise or having the name tag, putting this on my resume. It's a great resume builder, but for everybody else to enjoy what I've done. Meaning, once this project is over with next week, these people who come to the school, these students and professors, they're going to enjoy these trees. I don't get to fully. I'm not going to come here every day to. Oh, let me go look at my trees. I plant it because this is for y'all. It's not for me. Me planting these trees and any of the conservation efforts I did, it's not for me. It's not. It never was for me. So always of service, and that my product is being fruitful. That's what I would say. Always of service, and my product is being fruitful.
Because I was just about to ask, now since we talked about what you want and what's in the future, I was wondering about fully what actually is now.
Now as far as
the whole Travys Harper brand, the whole Travys Harper as an environmental designer, Travys Harper as being someone who has created something that's fruitful, because we have not talked about the fruit trees that you planted yet. That's the crazy part.
Yeah.
Because right now, when we're looking at what's going on in the world, where we're seeing the homeless population in Atlanta is terrible here. I cannot give an exact number. I know I've seen 15,000 people, they say, in Georgia right now are actually homeless. And I don't know if some of those people are around Piedmont Park. But when we think about where this world is going right now, and the fact that you created fruit trees, and from my further research that I found about the pawpaws and other fruit trees that you planted down here, those fruits, even though they might be seen as exotic or at least native fruit here, one thing I can say is they've been something that has, has helped with reducing cancer, help with that, but also too, they've helped with as far as nutrition value, also as far as digestion and fulfillment as well whenever it comes to eating. That's something that needs to be further emphasized at a time like this right now.
Agreed. So, in relations to the homelessness and the food shortage, food deserts, you may hear people say there's no fruit on the Beltline. They need to plant fruit trees on the Beltline. This and that. Well, those people are looking for apples and oranges. Number one, they're not going to come out there and maintain and do the maintenance on any of those trees. Those trees are very extensive, very finicky. You have to have the right soil, right water, right sunlight, always attentive to it. Now, when you plant something native, a native fruit tree like I did on the west side Beltline, pawpaws, serviceberries, figs, persimmons, plum trees, I asked those same people why y'all can't identify that fruit. So the average person only wants the fruit that they see in the grocery store. The reason you don't see pawpaws in the grocery store because they don't have a shelf life. You can't sell them. You know what I'm saying? You can't sell them. So it's like if you don't get it when it's ripe, the animals will. So, there is fruit on the Beltline. Those people can't identify those fruit trees. So don't let nobody tell you that there's no fruit on the Beltline, because there is. I can forage. Foraging is another ancestral heritage thing that us melanated people have already. We've always ate off the land. So even when it comes to the Beltline, I still can connect back with the land because I know where the fruit trees are and can go eat off the land and stay connected to the land in that way. So once again, it comes back to the education part.
I was just about to get on that.
Can a person, how do you get a person to identify a fruit tree on the Beltline? Well, somebody who has planted the fruit trees on the Beltline needs to educate them, going to the classes, going to the this and that. And this is what a pawpaw tree looks like when it doesn't have fruit. This is what it looks like when it does have fruit. This is what a persimmon looks like. This is what a serviceberry looks like. Because you can make serviceberry jam. So much.
We need to know this. You
can do serviceberry jam, pawpaws. It's a mix between a mango and a banana. It looks like a mango, but has the texture of a banana on the inside. When they ripe around end of August, beginning of September, right around that. If you don't time that the right way, you'll be able to get it. Plums. I know where plum trees are over there at the skate park. Every summer I go pick me some. And then Browns Mill Food Forest, which is the United States' largest food forest, right in South Atlanta. Where we at? Right, yeah, it's actually down 166. Actually, right over there. We're probably about 6-7 miles, 10-15 minutes from it. I do work over there, and it's 7.1 acres. The Morgan family, another black melanated family that owns the land. They did pecan tree farming, and any of their extra produce, what they used to do, they used to put them in bags and sit them on the outside of their fence for the neighborhood people to come by and grab the leftovers. So that's another thing, being communal of, okay, let's say this is a plum tree. If I want to come out here and get some plums, I come out here and get enough plums for myself. In today's society, gluttony, I'm gonna get all these. This is my tree. I'm gonna get all the plums off this tree. But why? But why? Just come back and people are all for self, and that's where the communal part is broken, and where the education can fix it. So with those, back to the trees on the Beltline, fruit trees on the Beltline, Beltline isn't completed. It's slated to be expected to be completed by 2030. I think they still have the South Side Trail is under construction right now, the Northeast Trail. So it's almost connected fully, circle in a loop. And there'll be more trees to be able to forage, just like in the Brown Smith Food Forest, we can go forward. They have an orchard. They have about 49 different garden plots. They have a rain garden I help install. I maintain the orchard. They have plums all along the front. They have pawpaws at the food forest. So, you know, a lot of the stuff that people want, they want to extract before they give. And it's like, I tell you, y'all want some fruit, some produce? Come volunteer first. Come put something into the ground so you can get something out.
Anybody can build something that looks good on opening day. The real question is, how will it perform years from now? And with today's residential and commercial developments facing growing challenges, all surrounding around stormwater management, sustainability, and long-term site performance, that's why planning matters. And that's why environmental design shouldn't be an afterthought. Harpscape Environmental Design partners with residential and commercial developers, construction companies, development departments, and project teams to integrate nature-based solutions, including stormwater management strategies and green infrastructure solutions. Because great development isn't about what gets built, it's about what lasts. If you're planning a project and searching for conservation expertise that supports both people and places, Harpscape is ready to start the conversation on conservation. Visit www.harpscapeenvironmental.com and complete the form to connect. And don't forget to add that Chrissy sent you.
Plant your seeds so you can harvest. People I just want. And it's like, nah, that's how things get depleted. That's how we don't give trees enough time or the plants enough time to replenish themselves so they can continue giving us fruit. Like I said, the trees on the belt line, the pawpaws on the belt line that I harvested from this past summer. They still produce. And that was 2018 when I planted them. Yeah.
And also too, because we're talking about, it kind of makes me go back to what's mentioned in the Bible, being fruitful and multiplying, and also to extracting from the earth. We think about things like that. Then I think about the part in the Bible where it even mentions that how can God trust you with much when you have not proven yourself with little. And it actually is making me think about just the whole supply of the trees, and also too about how you are replenishing the earth, but also too even making sure that there's something for everybody. So it does make me wonder, with all of this being said, how does all this resonate with you now as of today?
My father always said, and it's true, but he always mentioned, being thankful. But Adam was found in the garden. I'll leave it at that. Genesis, in the beginning, where was Adam found? And where did he fall into a deep sleep at? In the garden. So, I'm one with the earth. I'm that. And I'm looking for others. I want others. I want to connect with others, but it's like, all right. And I'm out here to teach and to educate and to showcase, because one thing that I know about being out here, AI ain't coming to take my job. Yeah, AI ain't coming to take my job. So I'm not even business. None of that. I want to see a robot come out here and do any of this. Even though I use technology, but come do that. Come AI move the most, but it can't be done. So there are ways that people can save themselves by pivoting. Pivot before it gets desolate, before it's all gone, because then you don't have the willpower to even want to do anything, because like, well, this is all gone. It's like, you got to make that change before it all gets depleted. So even with the AI coming in, it's like, all right, this I would think would be an influx of people coming. I want to plant trees. It hadn't came yet. I will say in 2020 when the pandemic hit, that's when the influx came, because when I started planting, would go to the nurseries to get my flowers and plants and stuff. They would be sold out, and I was like, y'all was not buying this stuff 2-3 years ago. Everybody became a gardener then. So I want to get that. I like that portion of the pandemic where everybody was outside, but I need more of that to continue. Like, you can come make it a career. You can come make it. And like I said, this is just what I'm doing. Is just one avenue, one industry within this niche. You know, there are some that just go around and you can prune the trees. The martyr buses that come down, I managed the program when I was employed previously. All the martyr buses that run through the city, downtown Atlanta, where if those tree branches are the same height, the bus is gonna hit them. So that's damage to the bus, damage to the tree. Well, I was monitoring that program, supervising that program to make sure that the tree branches were pruned at the height of the martyr buses, so the martyr buses wouldn't hit it. So that's preventative maintenance. That's going to make sure that this tree stays longer. On a hot summer day in Atlanta, when folks walking down the street for a conference, you got shade from the tree. That's the first thing somebody's looking for on a hot summer day, right? So how have trees become so non-important or low totem pole? Back what I said before, when Adam was found in the garden. So I'm in the garden. I work in the garden.
You know, and also too, since I have been listening to Myron Golden and other people and how he said pretty much building business on biblical principles, pretty much it sounds as though the Bible has inspired you in that way somehow. How do you feel? Do you feel like the King Solomon code of building a business, but also too, even starting in the Garden of Eden, how do you feel like that actually inspires you?
Well, just reading the Bible and learning from it growing up, Southern Baptist in the church. I like the stories a lot. I may not be able to quote a scripture off my tongue, but the stories, I can tell you about the stories. That's what captivated me to how the Bible was told. So we're reading those, and I knew under the sun, of course, you know, I can see where my life has been impacted through what I've been taught years later into my adult life. As a kid, you reading it, it's like, okay, you read it, but you don't fully understand it. Then I get older, it's like, okay, he in the garden, I'm in the garden, I'm installing rain gardens. You know, you start getting the terminology, start connecting the dots. We're like, okay, I'm in a godly space. So I need to be God fearing. As you saw earlier, I was a little under attack. You know, but being that this is something new and I want to give a great impression, the sun is out, you know, I got cheered up by being outside. You know, so a lot of the people who are having symptoms or mental illness issues, it's because they're inside too much. So you know, back to the Bible, when you read about where Jesus was at. Jesus wasn't in the building all the time. He wasn't in the church all the time. Wherever he was at, he was in the streets. He was with the regular common people. So that's how I like to mimic my life. I want to be out with the common people. I want to be amongst the people. Wherever two or more are gathered, I am there. So I believe in that and live in that and work in that with my business. You know, we sit, chit chat, talk, and we also get the work done. But I also conduct my business in a godly business from what I've learned and what I have grown into as an adult, and continue doing my Bible studies to make sure I stay on that path and, you know, don't go to wasting my gold and my fortunes and so forth and so on. So I've been blessed.
That's great. That's great. Also, too, since I still do have you right here, because I was wondering, are we still going out digging trees? You know?
Oh no, y'all look a little nice today.
Look, I can't.
I'm going to the car.
Yeah.
You can do what you want to do, my
I
mama.
told you I came like the Dolly Parton working 9 to 5. You know, look, this is the getting in the garden clothes.
Yeah. So if you want to get some video of us doing some of the work, that's fine. I can't make doing the same thing. So that's another reason why I say that I'm blessed, because I gave it all up. So I was recruited for my master's because of my green infrastructure work that I did in the city, because of the work I did in the city of Atlanta. The professor saw it, offered me a scholarship. And I tell folks, don't downplay my recruitment. I was recruited like a top athlete. I was recruited like LeBron James. So,
look, the LeBron James
of the environment, you know. Yeah, so and witnessing that and knowing how that comes along, it's like that didn't happen often. And so recognized that, resigned, gave up everything, moved back. Cause I knew it was something great. It was something, I didn't know it was this on the other end, but I knew it was something greater was on the other end. I just had to get through the graduate program. Like I said, the way it came, it just, now, it wasn't easy, it was rough once I got in, but just how it was presented was like, oh, I get a scholarship out. Who else has done that? I don't know anybody. Talking to other people, my peers, I don't know nobody. I know basketball and soccer and baseball and football. I ain't know nobody got a scholarship out the earth. Playing in the dirt got me a scholarship.
And I wish, where was my 4 to 5-year-old self when I needed that? Maybe I could have been the same way. Because my mom will even tell you, I used to love playing in the dirt.
Yeah, it's a get back to the childlike ways.
Yes.
I think that's what dampens a lot of us as we become adults. We don't emphasize our childlike abilities, meaning we suppress them a lot as we get older. And being out here, not only I get to be with my late father spiritually, but it also reminds me of running around in the woods with my cousins in Mississippi growing up. So it's in it, but it ain't the exact same thing. But it's like, I'll plan the boat trip. This looked like a trash climb when I was a little boy. Just personal connection that I have with the industry that I'm in. And I these folks, one of them he's a landscaper. He has his own business as well, so he understands. The other guy, he's helping. So I'm not trying to convert anybody, make nobody a tree hugger or a plant lover or anything. It's like, hey, I need help. Can you come help me? If you want to get more into it, I need you to show me that you want to get more into it rather than not.
Right.
So it's a tough balancing act, but I feel I have the strength to do it. It's been going well so far, and I will say that as I grow and do more exposure and education, more people are coming to it. I want to train more people. I think that's my next level. I wouldn't mind being a professor, teaching this stuff to get more people, to get them out quicker. Like I mentioned earlier, I can't delegate. I can't, hey, y'all finish this up, I'll be back. I'm not at that stage yet, but when all the knowledge is just here, from my experience, I got to get more people experience with it. Okay, this is how we plan, this is how we maintain this. I've been through this, and like I said, when I left for 2 years, roughly 18 months, came back, and I literally picked up the same work that I had put down. Like literally walked away. I was like, you can't. And mind you, this was during COVID when I was recruited, 2022. Yeah, 2022. And I was like, yeah, I got some virtual options. Like, nah, you gotta come in person. I was like, oh my God, because I love working on the belt line, doing the work that I was doing. And so made this decision, was like, this opportunity is never gonna come back around. Never gonna come back around. If I don't sacrifice now for the greater good, I'm just an employee. And I was where I was at. Looking back, where I was at, I was fine. I saw my next 10 years. I was doing the downtown master tree plan. They were doing 8,000 trees in 10 years. Did that first year where I did 700 trees. That's just that program. I tell them about the belt line. I need to go back and count. I did something on the belt line, but I'm well over. If I want to just guesstimate, I'm well over 3,500 trees in my career. Started in 2017, I would say. If not there, close to it. So it's definitely there's no blueprint for this. So it's every day I'm waking up, it's something new. It's okay, how do I do this? Can't call on nobody. Hey, what'd you do when you were planting 111 trees? So it's a journey that's unfolding every project, every day. I got my first wetland restoration project last year. A wetland pond that we're restoring, trying to using a floating device with plants planted in it, and the roots are going to hang out the bottom, and they're going to they soak up the extra toxins, the oil slicks, the too much zinc, all the extra lawn fertilizer that runs off. It's a stormwater pond, so it's just different things that are continuously unfolding as I continue to grow the business. So it's feel almost like octopus observation. I got a hand over here, a tentacle over here, a tentacle over here, a tentacle over here, and it's all working. It's all working. It's all under the same conservation umbrella. I'm not doing nothing no different. It's all the same. So it's like, okay, I know I'm supposed to be here because I gave it up for 2 years and came back and literally walked back and just picked it all right back up. Literally picked it all, and then some. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And also too, it leads me to ask you, because just as I'm listening to you talk, it sounds like you are a student continuously.
Always.
And it seems like it circulates and multiplies through everywhere. What keeps you grounded at that level?
Always being of service, willing to learn and willing to teach, and willing to be corrected. I know a lot. I don't know everything. So having those people that I can call on who are, this is just a water expert. They don't deal with trees. Okay, I got a wetland restoration project. Hey, I'm working on this wetland restoration, so I need some of your expertise. I have an idea because I'm smart enough to figure it out, but I want to run it by an expert to make sure that what I'm doing has an expert level of impact. Like I said, I'm under the conservation umbrella, but I have specific experts that I go to for certain things up under that conservation umbrella. And that's what will keep me around, being always of service. That was just my personal life, just it's always been of service. Mm-hmm. Being a student, ready to learn. That's how I've been able to grow. Never wanted to be stagnant. I was able to go back to college, go back for the grad school. I was never thinking about a master's. It came up and I was like, this is a great opportunity. And I just made the sacrifice, and this is the reward. So that's kind of what keep me grounded, knowing that the decisions that I'm going to make today will impact me later on. But it has to be the right decision. You can't just be, I'm just going back to school. It was none of that. It was, I was recruited. It's like, okay, what does this mean? Once again, I was ready to be a student again, so I went back to be a student, which led me to be a full-time business owner, which led me to y'all. So.
And also too, back to you being a student, being a brand student, and also to mastering just your craft, mastering the art of business too. Being back in the classroom setting and building relationships is one thing that you emphasize on. So since we're emphasizing on that, let me know, outside of just college, when you were at Auburn University, pretty much what was that experience like for you?
Life changing. Number one, the way I was being recruited, and it not being athletic recruited.
Right.
So it was all brains. Graduate school was intense, but my work experience prepared me for it, because starting a program from scratch is intense, building on the belt line is intense, mind you. When we installing trees like this, with everything we do on the belt line, you got people running behind us, got people biking, got ladies with strollers and their kids, dogs, like, it's active. So it's a lot of people. This is easy. Nobody's out here right now. So it's like, we can be us, but having to be able to conduct and be professional in a very chaotic area on a very public, transformative infrastructure as the Beltline. Like this is world changing. I got to do my study abroad for 8 weeks in Auburn, went to London, Amsterdam, Berlin, Germany, Munich, Germany, Zurich, Switzerland, Lauterbrunnen, Switzerland. Which Omega Factories in Omega, Switzerland. Right, another place in Switzerland, Sicily, Greece, Santorini, Greece, Athens, Greece, Qatar, UAE, and Dubai. So my first time doing it, an 8-week excursion, study abroad trip. So I got to see trees all around the world. I got to see green infrastructure all around the world. I got to see rooftop gardens in London. Like they do their gardens. Like how you see the centerpiece they got going, but they put all their gardens on the rooftop. So it's like, why y'all doing that over here? We not doing that over there. So I got to take my knowledge over there and then extract knowledge from over there and bring it back over here. And also see like, okay, what am I doing here with this urban forestry, urban tree planting? Who else would need? So I took my professional experience and took it around the world to see where I could have potential business, potential global business, potential international business, which once again, trees are around the world, so it's not far-fetched. Got some trees over there in Dubai? Yeah, it did that, but yeah, the international study abroad was that was life-changing because I got to see, I got to travel the world. Ecuador too, with Ecuador for Quito, Ecuador. Went to the equator. You know, just seeing the world and seeing how their forestry is, how their conservation efforts are, seeing with their people, seeing their culture and stuff like that. That was very eye opening. And then being able to come back, like, okay, this is going to be come back with information, come back with knowledge. So now I'm like, okay, how can we do top guard? Cutouts in the street that are great infrastructure. Like the streets wasn't flooded over there. Like, oh here, heavy rain, streets flooded. It's like, why? The infrastructure is designed to work with nature. So that's what I do with environmental design. These trees help soak up more water. Improve the soil, improve the air quality. There's a lot of benefits from it, and I got to see how they can impact the world. I haven't got any contracts of business over there yet, but it's on the way.
It is, and not only that, I'm pretty sure you still have relationships and connection with them.
Yep.
Also, too, wow, knowing that you have studied abroad in over 8 countries, wasn't it?
Yep.
Oh my God, that's really amazing. How many languages have you learned and picked up while you were there?
Well, you'll be thankful for Google Translator.
It's the thought that counts.
Yeah. Dutch, more so. The Spanish speaking, I was a little more fluent. Still, like, but I can pick up on it because I took Spanish in high school, and hopefully I know a couple. I work with a lot of Hispanics, Latinos. Anyway, so when I was working with them on the Beltline, I had a crew that I was subcontract. I was managing. They was planting. I would try to talk to them in their language. Try to be accommodating, but also help me learn as well to learn Spanish. I'm fluent in different languages. So it was Dutch, Amsterdam, Germany, Dubai was Arabic, Spanish, Quito, Dutch throughout. That's about it.
Greece.
Greece.
Yeah.
So it wasn't enough time to really delve into the communities and some of them. Like in Greece, we was on Greece for 4 days, 2 days in Santorini, 2 days in Athens. So
And I remember you said Switzerland too.
Switzerland, we was just going all through Switzerland. We talked with them Swiss. We spent about a week in Switzerland. Then a week in London, 3 days in Amsterdam, 6 days and a week in Germany, 10 days in Dubai, 10 days in Ecuador. So the longer days I was there, I kind of started to pick up on the language. But those quick days, in and out, getting a lot of talking with people to be able to get accustomed to the countries. But Spanish is one of the ones I want to take more classes as far as being in the industry that I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of Latinos in this industry, so I want to be accommodating.
Right. But since we are focused on that too, I was wondering this. With that being said, did you at least have a chance to get to enjoy some of the cultural things as far as being in Switzerland, like with the people, just for a moment?
Switzerland was, I got to experience a lot of different climates in Switzerland. So the Swiss Alps, we went to Jungfrau, which is the tallest peak in the Swiss Alps in Europe. And on the bottom, and we went during the summertime, so these study abroad was June to July, and we was in Switzerland during the summer. So we were down on the mainland, we were in shorts and short sleeves, but we took the gondola up to the Swiss Alps and to go through the ice caves, I had to put on all my layers. So I like mountains already. I go to Colorado Rockies a lot. I visit the Rockies and the Appalachians a lot as well. So I like the mountains, something majestic about them. So in Switzerland, the mountains I got to go to the top of Jungfrau, which is the tallest peak in Europe. And so got to enjoy it, different experience. Switzerland we went to the largest free-falling waterfall. And then we went to the Omega factory that makes the Omega watches for James Bond. So we got to see how they made those watches. We got to see each watch that was made for each James Bond movie. And that's the only watch that James Bond. You're ready to get the word too. That's the only watch that James Bond wears. What else? Switzerland has very clean water, so they have water fountains throughout the whole country. And you can just walk up to a fountain and fill your water bottle up. What else did we experience? Oh, they have a bunker that's under their highway. I think it'll hold like 20,000 people in case of a nuclear event, catastrophe. They have bunkers. We went and visited the bunker. It is now like a museum that people tour with. Outside of that, Switzerland has a lot of. So Switzerland reminded me of the Beltline because we went down to the stream where we were staying at, and along the stream they had blackberries, they had plum trees, and fig trees, raspberries, and so picking off the fruit throughout the land once again, similar to what I was doing here. So I did like that. That was a similar experience in Switzerland that I have over here in the States.
Also too, so when do you look forward to actually producing more and just creating more vegetable and fruit trees?
So I work with farmers, partner with farmers. Grow Culture Farms is one that I partner with in South Fulton. They are the youngest. She's with Kendall Ray. She's the youngest certified farmer in the United States. She just did a USDA college tour, HBCU agriculture college tour. And we did an agroforestry collaboration at her farm where we planted 15 different fruit trees. The plums produced the first year. The figs produced the first year. When I say produced, we were able to eat, harvest and eat. The figs produced. The peaches produced. And so they planted 15 different trees on their farm. They already had apples trees, they already had plum trees. They had a banana. They have a banana tree. Yeah, I think that might be all that they had. So we added a cherry tree. We added nectarine. We added. Oh, they had peach trees. We added two more dwarf peaches. So a dwarf peach, anytime a tree is dwarfed, similar to like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, they're little people. So these are little trees. They only get probably about as tall as your iPad. So, but they still produce fruit. Just dwarf species, genus. And so planted those. What else we planted? Yeah, plums, apples, cherry tree, nectarine, pawpaw. We planted them a pawpaw tree, figs, and plums. Yep. So they can have so they currently had pear tree, peach tree, apple tree, plum tree. So they already had four fruit producing trees, and we added 15 to that. So they have about 19, 20 different trees on their farm in South Fulton. Yeah, South Fulton, that I harvested from, produced from. Yeah. So I help maintain those. And agroforestry is one that I'm just getting into, doing research and studying. Agroforestry is more so, it's like farming, but it's using trees only. So if I had a farm, let's say this was a farm, and I would just plant a bunch of fruit trees. So it was almost like an orchard. But instead of just fruit trees, I would plant fruit trees, I'll plant oak trees, I'll plant fruit trees and non-bearing fruit trees, just so they can cross collaborate, pollinate, and have a different makeup of the trees, because you don't want to just plant one species of tree all at once, because that makes the tree susceptible to any type of disease. If a disease comes through, let's say a pest comes through, if you just have apple trees and apple rust comes through, then it can get to all of your trees. But if you have apple trees spread throughout, peach trees spread throughout, and another tree spread throughout, then those, you might catch it before it gets to all of them. You might catch, okay, these trees over here are looking bad, but the rest of the trees are looking good, but we can take care of just these trees. If it's just apple trees, all of them are going to catch the apple rust disease. So it's that's part of the technical part, knowing how to plant right tree, right place, what to plant with the trees, soil, and just more in-depth of forestry, but as a farming economical part called agroforestry. So agriculture, forestry, they just agroforestry. So it's something new that I'm looking into. It's in my field.
And how are you creating, because it seems as though you work around the clock, how are you creating time to even have a chance to actually fully study this new knowledge and body of work that you're on?
I have to plan it as well. I have to plan my off days. I have to plan my days I'm not going to work. Can I work around the clock? Yes, I will, because I love it. I love being outside. I love working. I love planting trees. I love doing this. I'm active. I'm not a gym rat, so I'm not going to go to the gym. This is my daily workout. Get my steps in. So I'm out here breathing in fresh oxygen. It's just different. And so, me being such a studious worker, I also have to plan in my off days. So if I know I'm working this much, I'll say I may work this whole week, then I know I'll take time off where I either do administration day, like I had with my folder, going through the numbers, writing the number down, sending emails, making sure to the right trees are planted, and then I take those days off. But once again, it fluctuates throughout the season, so a lot of my time fluctuates because I'm only planting from October to April. So once April comes, I'm not going to be planting any more trees. I'll be moving to watering, and then that's only three or 4 days out the week. And so it fluctuates to where I will have more days depending on the season, or I will have less days depending on the season.
And also too, since we are on this topic, back to still being a student, but the fact that you have taken this and created such a space where children have even gotten a chance to not only learn about the environment, learn social skills, learn how to even conduct themselves in a functioning society where they're dealing with people from all classes. and all backgrounds and walks of life, where you're able to actually mix and mingle with people in different businesses and industries, but also too where they're learning about financial literacy. We would like to know more about that as an audience. Pretty much, how have you been able to create such a wealth ecosystem with such a strong strategy? But also too, what did it mean for you to do this?
So financial literacy and financial education is key with life. Knowing how to budget, balance, what to spend on, pay your bills, pay yourself, make sure you got working capital for your business. So it started with environmental education. When I was formerly employed, I was working at Trees Atlanta. I built their program, their youth tree team, and we developed a program there that taught the kids how to do tree identification, so they can identify a tree just by looking at the leaf, how to maintain the trees, how to do the mulch. My crew doing their installing mulch around the tree, so the mulch helps retain water, helps suppress weeds, and in the wintertime, it provides, it acts as a blanket for the root ball, and then in the summertime, it acts as a cooling agent so that the root ball doesn't get burned. So I taught them basic maintenance on the belt line, and they're mainly kids from around the city of Atlanta. So we were connecting with different kids from different high schools. It was a high school program, and we built it up. And then this past summer, we did it. Hartscape, after I left, another program worked with me and brought me in last summer to work with young adults. So those kids, these were older kids. These were kids from 13 to 20. So middle school to college kids. And I taught them the same thing about green infrastructure, how to do bioswales, how to do plant identification, invasive species removal, like kudzu, stuff that the plants that aren't supposed to be here. I showed them how to get them out, how to do the maintenance, how to cut the grass back down, how to plant grasses. And they also got to see how the green infrastructure chambers fill up with water and how it filters the water. So that is really where a lot of our workforce is coming at. You probably heard a lot of talk about trades. The kids need to be doing trades. We need this many electricians, this many plumbers. Well, we need, once again, we're doing this construction, just happen to be in conservation, so we need more of these as well. But a lot of that workforce isn't going to come from a college. It's going to come from the middle school. We have to train those kids up first. If we go get a high school kind of already know where they want to go. I knew what I wanted to do in high school by the time I graduated. So if we're trying to curtail or get somebody to become a high school student, become a tradesman, high school is a little too late unless they, it's just a little too late. But the lower you go and the quicker you get them introduced to these careers and these industries, then the students can start molding their own mind into, I think I want to go into forestry, I think I want to go into wetland restoration, I think I want to go into coastal restoration, I think I want to go into agroforestry, I think I want to go into agriculture. You can put them in, you can expose them to different careers that aren't just computer based. Go be a computer scientist, go be an IT scientist, go be a accountant, go be a business manager. And a lot of students, as we know, everyone isn't college material. So what opportunities and careers are there for them? So my thing was teaching these kids and let them know, look, y'all looking for jobs, y'all looking for things to do, y'all looking for a way to earn, make some money, and so there's going to be an impact. And this is one of those ones. The days are going to be hot, the days are going to be cold, whether you work in the building or you don't work in the building. You're going to have to deal with the elements anyway. So get them used to that and let them see that there is a career that can be made by playing in the dirt. And they say money don't grow on trees, but
could have fooled me.
Mine does. Yeah,
I know that's
does.
right.
So it's just a little different over here. Not only so trees are political. People don't understand how political trees are because they aren't involved on the level where I'm involved in. Meaning, So when I started the 8,000 tree, the downtown master tree plan, when I did the first year, did the ceremony for the first tree. Mayor Dickens came and spoke.
Have you ever noticed that most infrastructure problems don't start out big? They start small, actually. They start as a drainage issue, a flooding concern, and a public space that's slowly being impacted by erosion. Then one day, what could have been prevented becomes expensive to fix. That's why communities are investing in smarter planning before problems happen. Harpscape Environmental Design partners with cities, municipalities, government agencies, and organizations to create nature based solutions that not only manage stormwater, but they protect public spaces and strengthen communities for the future. Because the strongest communities aren't built by reacting, they're built by preparing. If you're thinking about the future of your community, now is the time to start the conversation. Learn more about Harpscape Environmental Design by visiting www.harpscapeenvironmental.com and tell him Chrissy sent you.
Spoke about it and so forth. Flip side, they want to build a new police training facility, clear cut hundreds of acres. How we gonna plant 8,000 trees in this 10-year time span? But you want to go move 8,000 trees? Is it a swap? Being in the industry, it seems like let's do this initiative, so we can do this, so it won't be as environmentally bad. It's like, now we need to do both. Keep these trees. Tell them folks, y'all need to go get an old mall building or something. Get something already redevelop something. Don't go clear cutting it. And we do the 8,000. When I was employed, I helped with the tree protection ordinance. So Atlanta has a tree protection ordinance, meaning a resident that lives in Fulton County, the city of Atlanta, they can't just cut a tree down. They can't just cut a tree down. You got to get a permit. And there's money that goes into the recompense fund. Recompense meaning cut the tree down. How many inches was it? Let's say. And the inches is how big around the tree is, the trunk. It says 3 inches. These trees I'm planting are 3 to 4 inches. It says 3 inches. All right. For every inch that's cut, we have to replace it. So if I cut down a 10-inch oak tree, 10-inch oak tree around the caliper inch, if I cut that down, I got to replace those 10 inches. So I may have to plant 3 smaller trees at 3-inch caliper. Or so those black buckets, those mulch buckets, their trees came in those. We just reuse them. Take the tree out, plant it. Buckets, we use them for mulch, reuse. Those are actual tree buckets. Trees come in. They just, trees probably about this tall. Those black buckets. So we replace the inches. That contributes to Atlanta continuing to be the city in the forest. Atlanta's urban canopy is 48 to 50% fluctuates because of development. Fluctuates between 47 to 50% urban canopy. So the next time y'all fly out of Atlanta, you see the plane coming flying out. You look out over Atlanta, you'll see more trees than you will building. That's intentional. We want to protect that. We want to grow that. We want to conserve that. How do we do that? By this. We doing this. There are already trees here. There's big open space. Let's add some more strategically. So helping rewrite the tree protection ordinance. A lot of cities don't have that. A lot of cities don't care what you do with the trees because the trees are an afterthought. It's secondary. Not even secondary.
Right, especially when they want to build more buildings or whatnot too, and actually make sure that they're building more apartments and so as well.
Right. So, and being a construction graduate and looking at construction goes, best for them is to clear cut everything, fresh slab. But being in a place as dense as Atlanta, we want to redevelop. So let's go in and take what's already here. What's happening with where we at? West End Mall. A lot of the malls that malls aren't as big as they were back then. house. We do it this fall. Redevelop it into house, green space. I think give it back to the earth. We took from the earth, put it in there. Done. Done nothing over it. Turn it into affordable housing. Give it back to the earth. Turn it into a green space. Turn it into a park. Facilitate. So, yeah. Answer.
I got you. Yeah, because I was wondering too, because back to that, I was wondering, have you thought to partner with him to at least get more students involved or so, and also to thought to reach out to him with his church or so?
So Jamal Bryant, I used to be a former converted missionary Baptist church member in August. Haven't been there. I'm a current member at New Mercy Christian Church with Pastor Jesse Kearney. But Mayor Dickens, I am connected with the trees and the youth. We have worked together in that space. But with my recruitment and the way I've been working and my relationships and what I've done, I can walk into almost any high school in the city of Atlanta and surrounding areas, and they know my face from when I was recruiting. Because I did the summer program from 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 5 years. I was going to 10 high schools a week, recruiting high school students. Right? Got the summer program. It's a summer camp. It's not a summer camp. Come to work. Get paid. Make some money. Like we talk to kids. The kids were getting paid. They open their own bank account without their parents' approval, without they having to have their parents on it. Credit union, they partner with wraparound services. So those that were less fortunate than the affluent, which I go from Alpharetta down to College Park, and the kids that feel that higher, you mixing and mingling with those type of people. This is how the world is. You got people who are better, you got people who have less than. But that doesn't take away from the actual workers way out the level. Not only here, but you take that, spread around the world. So me and Mayor Andre Dickens are acquaintances as far as working together, but I haven't presented anything to either of them about the youth, because I am just as involved and influential with youth already on my term. I think we both just met at that head point of youth, but I haven't stepped to any of the proposal yet. It's this new summer program that I'm doing, working with crew, city resilience, environmental workforce, WAWA, which is Western Good Watershed, Black organization in the environmental space. We work together. I was teaching 25 young adults from 13 to 20. We're going to do it again this summer. So it was a pilot program last year. First time doing that, went so well. It's like, man, we're going to do it again. So as it's being done more now that I'm as a business owner, yes, I will be presenting these ideas. Like, hey, Mayor Dickens, Jamal Brown, how can we get some youth more involved with and adults more involved with tree planting? Very creative, so just freestyling off my head with Jamal Brown. I used to remember back when I was a member, do some small tree plants, get a garden going. One Sunday after congregation, let's have a Sunday congregation in the garden like that. Is you gonna say nothing?
I mean, I would.
So it's aligning, it's alignment. And so, I wouldn't even call them radical, forward-thinking, progressive ideas that I think somebody take a risk on. Be a pilot program. If it doesn't work, it's not done. If it do work, how you got all throughout the church campus. Another program I want to do with, hey man, I got some vacant lots around the city. Turn it into farm plots, turn it into agriculture plots. Get rid of this food there. There's ways to do it. It's just the powers that be, they can't think of everything. And once now I'm at a space where 2 years in, feeling stable, contracts are working, and now I can go to, go over here and try something. Go over here and try. I feel comfortable presenting progressive ideas in higher spaces, in other spaces, rather than just being a contractor. So starting to branch out to other prospects. And not only them, businesses as well. Planning around the Coca-Cola building down there off Northside Drive. Planning around it. It's like, all right, Coca-Cola, how much y'all want to give to these kids? Sponsor some kids. So I'm on. It's coming down the pipeline. I haven't gotten there yet, but it's on the way. I have that experience. I was previously employed. Now I'm self-employed. It's like I'm back. I'm in this position. So you're gonna work with me. Now working with the organization I was with, directly with me. So I feel confident in it because anything done for the youth is to get them outside. My programs are fun. My programs are eventful. A lot of kids like them. When I was employed and running the program, every year we increase about 20 to 30 new student applications applying for the position. So when I finished resign, students we get 150 applications. They have to go to any school. The word had just spread. Friends tell their friends, "What you do this summer?" Working. He was working. Cause ain't no more malls. Kids can't go to the mall and work. You know, so it's where can they go and work? It's better than bringing them outside. Outside is better because you have to sit at the desk, sit in the office, sit in the building. You come outside, you can be as loud as you want. You can yell, scream, run around. They kids. But when it's time to work, this is what we gonna do. Let me show y'all how to do this. Y'all help to carry them buckets. You go on that side, I go in and carry the buckets. You get the water. Well, so once the thing what I've noticed is a lot of the programs that the people, that the professors and teachers, whoever you want to call them, facilitators are putting on are not fun. Kids, they try to make it feel like school. Want some homework? This is not school. This is work. If you want to be a summer camp, don't pay. I don't do summer camps. I do workforce production. So if it's watching some kids, watching the kids. Our workforce and training development, other job training, our development become environmentalist and conservation, the arborists, actually forestry, urban forestry. I want to just watch oversee it. What's work for y'all to get paid. Teach y'all life skills, teach y'all soft skills. Teach them 30-second pictures. Who are you? Give to me 30 seconds. Help me with that, help them do resume writing, help them write a resume, especially the seniors, the 11th graders, the 12th graders, help them write a resume, give recommendation letters for their colleges. One of my students, he's at Auburn, I think he's a senior now. Yeah, we was on campus, it's ironic. We was on campus, when I went back to graduate school, we would meet up and study sometimes. Right, that's what I said.
Oh, so cool. Talk about full circle.
You know, it may not be all of them, but I'll take one. He's like, I never imagined we were going to college again. I said, me either. I never thought I'd be coming back now, but you know, I need to call him back. I think I graduated something this spring. He might be.
Seems like someone's graduation. You gotta
go.
To
Yeah. I'm starting to think I want to miss it. Like, hold on, let me think about it. But it's the kids. The kids are the future. The kids have the energy. Have the energy, but us as adults, back to the suppression, how we become adults, we suppress our inner child, suppress our inner kid. You know, like I said, we out outside, running around, playing. You know, even now, going around through the neighborhoods, I don't see the kids. You know, we used to have the bikes all piled up at the neighbor's house. The kids ain't shooting basketball, not playing in the street where you come. Okay, you gotta let the kids move. I don't see it anymore. And I come up from that, it's like. That's what this gives me a piece of being outside. It's like, yeah, I can yell and scream and shout and be as loud as I want to outside.
No ice cream.
No ice cream. Oh my God, no ice cream. Yeah.
My generation was the last generation.
Yeah, no ice cream truck. Even that, it's like, ironically, they probably went out of business because the kids outside. Yeah, y'all put them all inside. That's why. So I'm getting the kids back outside, have that joyfulness, and even the parents. I had parents, and I knew it was First year I did, I was teaching the kids. I was formally employed. When the parents came to me, she had tears in her eyes. She was like, I don't know what you done to my son, but I've never seen my child like this in my life. Oh, Gabe was. And Gabe was one of my poster child. Like when I say night and day, he came in quiet. I almost thought he was a mute. Like started around. He came all 4 years of high school. Each year, his parents came to me like, what's going on? And we got another child. We got his sister. They pushed her right on through the program because they saw what he was doing. So my work has been tested. My work has been proved. It has been improved upon. Even when I left where I was formerly working at Trees Atlanta, I went back once again to relationships. How y'all doing? I appreciate everything. How's the program going? Are y'all still doing the same stuff that I was doing when I left 3 years ago? More confirmation. Okay. You know, so what I do, have done, will continue to do is work. It's time to pivot, change it up. I will. See it in. Works. First process. That's the second process. One of the first processing is scan for the utility. See some utility going through here. Some utility with the red spray. That just lets us know what the utility is. This tree is looking see, it's on the stump where a tree was. It's a tree right. So we're just replacing it right beside it. This is what the ground looks like before. Go down. This is root ball. This is where the roots of the tree is. This is where the nutrients, they take up the nutrients, they take up the water. All in this burlap. This is a burlap set. Like when you get coffee beans, they come in the burlap. This is the same material.
And you put the tree down in that. Well, I thought that, you just let the tree, whenever it's, it has a little dirt on it, so it stays in that the whole time.
Half of it. So, part two. when we get that done, we excavate it with our machine. You can see how it looks when it's in the ground. Put this mulch on that tree. Yeah, we need this mulch. We need this mulch on that one. And bring the rest of the mulch and sit it beside these two. So this is what the tree looks like once it's in the ground. We excavate it. We got the tree in the hole. It's upright. We want it as upright as we can have it. We don't want to lean it that way. We don't want to lean it this way. We can kind of move it a little bit, but it's not going to change or alter the stance of the tree, the structure of it. So once we get it in, we start removing seat belts. We have knives and we cut it and remove it. And then this top portion, where you see these metal right here, that's all get cut off. So everything right here and up, string, seat belt, this burlap, all that gets cut off. And so this burlap is biodegradable. Over time, it's going to wear away. The roots are going to push through it. They're going to push into the ground, anchor in, hold it. So this is the second step for when it's not in the hole. Get into the hole, backfill it, open it up. Then what the finished product is, once we excavate, we take the burlap, the wire, and the seatbelt off. Then you see it starts to look like a tree now. It starts to look like it's been here, like it's supposed to be here, and so forth and so on. So we put mulch.
Travis, hold the thing and let me do the other part. Cause you know what? Look. Hold this camera and let me do the other part where you.
Oh, you want to do? Okay.
I surely do.
Yeah,
give me
you can do that.
You make it look like I did some part. What they say, working.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you just slowly dumping it.
Wait, Okay.
There you go. Come on around. And so the mulch provides.
I go around the whole thing?
Yep. And so the mulch suppresses the weeds. Once the mulch gets wet, it provides a watering for the root ball as well. In the summertime, it provides shade for the root ball so the root ball doesn't scorch. And in the wintertime, it provides it as a blanket as well so that it doesn't get cold or freeze. With the mulch, we mulch every tree after it's done, and we mulch twice a year, twice a season. Wintertime and springtime. That's wintertime and springtime. And this is just an old tree that's been chopped up. It's been chopped up. We turned it into mulch. So even with the mulch being around there, it's natural. It's going to biodegrade. It's going to break down how it's going to break down. And it just provides more nutrients back into the soil. So you always want to mulch your plants, mulch your trees, because it suppresses the weeds. If we didn't put mulch, when springtime comes, that grass is going to grow a lot of weeds, and it's not going to look good. So you could have used pine straw. Some people use pine straw, but pine straw has no value for the tree.
Yeah.
Mulch is more useful for the tree rather than using pine straw.
Do you prefer to use mulch with every tree that you plant over pine straw? I agree.
Pine straw. Yeah. I prefer mulch. Pine straw is aesthetic only. It has no function.
It moves too much if you ask me. It's only cute whenever the wind's not blowing or whenever it's not raining. Other than that, I feel like it serves no purpose.
So, it has an aesthetic, but it doesn't do anything else.
Right.
It just looks good. It doesn't function. It doesn't hold water. It doesn't suppress the weeds. It doesn't provide organic matter as it breaks down. It's going to turn right back into soil. So that's fine. The next thing would be watering. And then springtime, pulling up any weeds that do pop up. It's not going to suppress every single weed, but for the weeds that do need to be suppressed or maintained, we'll pull those weeds out.
Wow. I never knew that this is truly how you plant a tree. So
I was mentioning about the caliper inch. How the caliper inch. This is Nation Ruger. This is a red maple. As you can see the tips are kind of red. See the red tip to the branches. So that's another identifier. How do I identify a tree? Well, what does it look like? Look at the bark. Look at the structure. You're able to notice the identifier. You're able to see what type of tree it is. Red maple, Acacia rubra, native. I only plant native trees. I don't plant nothing from China, nothing from Europe, nothing from. It's from Georgia, the Southeast, or the United States.
So what makes you want to keep everything USA as far as planting trees instead of actual? I know you're big on globalization, but also too, what's making you want to more so focus on the Native American tree life and just US based instead of bringing in foreign trees?
So with native trees, they have less competition. They thrive even better. They don't. If I bring in something else like kudzu, for instance, kudzu is not native to the States, to America. It's native to Asia. So when you take a plant out of its natural habitat, out of its native surroundings, then it has an influence, meaning it can grow wildly without any competition, without any predators, uncontrollably. So planting native trees that are from their region, trees from their area, trees from their state, they kind of are controlled. They grow naturally. It's not gonna be invasive. A lot of the invasive species that are here, birds and the animals can't. It's not a source of food for them because it's not native. They don't. And even sometimes if it is, it might be poisonous. So we don't want anything that's poisonous, messing up the trees and mess up the plants. But kudzu messes up the trees. It wraps around the trees. It smothers the trees. It covers them. It just adds weight to them. And, that's why a lot of trees die when they wrap in kudzu or English ivy, wisteria. Just different invasive species. That's another another niche that some organizations just do. They just do invasive removal species. All they do is take out the trees and the plants and the species that aren't supposed to be here, that have been imported, left alone, and let go, ran wild. They don't have, like I said, they don't have any predators. They don't have any native animals that'll eat it. So there's, once again, that's the reason, the technicalities behind why we plant what we plant, right tree, right place. Plant a Russian maple, Dubai palm tree, or anything, plant what's here.
What about for the exotic fruits?
The exotic fruits are just exotic because they can't be held to a shelf life.
Yeah.
They're native as well. They're wild. So they're more wild exotic than from over there exotic, from elsewhere exotic. That's where the exoticness comes from, I would say. That's right. They're just wild. You can't find it in the grocery store, then that what makes it wild, what makes it exotic, because it's not readily available. Like I said, once again with the pawpaw, for example, you only get the pawpaw around the end of summer, end of August, beginning of September. And if you don't get it then, you gotta wait till longer. So
Where I'm from, I'm not seeing many black people on the side. Look, I don't see our uncles selling watermelon on the side of the street anymore. Why do you think that is? Because at one point, at least in the South, during the summertime, you're always able to see. Look, my intrusive thoughts started going. But you were always able to see, the black man, y'all gotta look whenever it comes to selling the watermelons. You'll never see them no more wearing the cargo shorts. Then too, with a blackberry with the summertime shoes on, the barbecue shoes. We don't see that anymore. I was wondering, are y'all at least planting watermelons up here and selling them now? Look, where y'all at? Did y'all migrate to Atlanta?
I would say my farm partners, they do grow watermelons.
Yeah.
They grow fruit, produce, tomatoes, collard greens. They grow a lot of collard greens. I would say that a lot of my partner farmers, they grow a lot of collard greens. Watermelons, they have them, but they're not in abundance. Like I say, you got the truck bed or the trailer for the watermelons. Due to being in the city, less land. But I would say that is due to, and I ran into that with tree farms. So these trees come from a tree nursery.
Yeah.
From a tree farm where they grow these trees and sell them. And so what similarly happened is, the kids are going off living life elsewhere. They don't want to come back to the family farm. And so they have to sell the farm, and who buys the farm? The big conglomerates, the big companies.
Venture capitalists.
That's why we getting the all the chemicals and pesticides in our foods, because they'll take a big swath like these open lands right here and grow, but they don't have the manpower to go through and actually do the maintenance. So what they do, they bring the machine out and they just spray everything.
Yeah.
Spray everything. So that leaches into the food, leaches into us, and it's like, all right, but the uncles and granddaddies, they did it by hand.
Surely did.
It was just
yes.
It was just multiple of them. I have 10 people growing 50 watermelons. It's a lot. That's a lot of watermelon.
You know what? And I remember we actually hinted at this on the phone when we first were talking about pretty much the whole setup of getting you on rich unconventionally. And we mentioned pretty much just the way how important it is for black farmers and even for brown Latino farmers to be present, because you all are the backbone of not only this country but the backbone of our society, the way how we take in food. What's crazy is I had just started researching how come whenever we're working out, a lot of our bodies now don't look like the way how they did either in the 90s or so, 80s or 90s. And I was like, was it something that had to do with the workouts, which I do feel like it's that, but also too, I was like, what is going on with the food and produce? Like, I feel like that has been the problem with the way how we either work out, and also too the way how we look after we get in shape too. And it seems as though even when we're healthy now, we're still not actually healthy, because the very things that we're told are meant to help us lose weight and maintain a healthy figure are the very same things that are now being poisoned.
There you go. So it's a lot of that, meaning with our parents and so forth were growing food. They were going in the backyard. I remember with my big mama in Mississippi, shucking corn. If we wanted pie, we had to go pick the blackberries. If we wanted ice cream, we had to turn the ice cream. Me and my cousin would take turns. My arms high. What else I used to bring?
I was only here for crab apples and the sugar cane, and I didn't look. If anything, I went to go pick the crab apples from the backyard. My daddy used to go pick the sugar cane.
Yeah. And so you bring it and chop it up, and you just gnaw it all day. Suck on, chew on it, gnaw it all day. And barely find sugar cane. So I think that's where the disconnect happened. Once a lot of people start moving to the cities.
The cities, yeah. Everybody now is wanting to be in tech, AI now, which I do still think that those industries are very much so needed, finance and all of them. But if you notice, it seems as though we're all moving towards business, big tech, corporate, and finance now, me included, in marketing. But I will say too, it does matter that this is why I do think what you're doing matters, because we do have to start producing an influx of black and brown farmers. And to be honest, white farmers are needed as well. But as far as that whole education and not going the easy route to produce something quickly, it actually matters.
It matters. That's another thing. If I did my study in agriculture and how it's done, the big conglomerates, they want a yield per acre. So they want is how much corn can I get in 1 acre of land? I want as much corn as I can get on. What you got to do, I want as much corn in 1 acre. So they tighten and squeezing them in, and it doesn't produce the best crop. When Granddad and Uncle was producing, they just had their rows, had them out. They may have had an acre, but they weren't trying to maximize that 1 acre with money making. So again, the gluttony of money, the gluttony of having this for me and for me only, has make the conglomerates, the big venture capitalists and the big companies. Okay, we know these farmers are struggling. Instead of giving them a stipend to boost their productivity and help them out, we're gonna go in and we're gonna buy up the whole farm.
And what they fail to realize is that affects them too, because at the top they're still eating what people are eating, either in the upper middle class, the middle class, the lower middle class, the lower class, and what poor people are eating. It's all still being given to all of us. So which means what's meant to hurt us is meant to hurt them as well.
And that's where the gluttony has them blinded, because if they were to invest the money into it to make a better quality crop and not use a lot of pesticide, hire the people to work. They know it, and I talk with it to them to their face too, and let them know, like, hey, what y'all thinking y'all doing is only affecting y'all, but it's just coming through us first. Meaning, like you say, y'all polluting and putting all these pesticides into the fruit. What kind of food y'all eat? Y'all eat the same stuff.
Yeah, because I would go ahead and say, as for me, as someone who pretty much comes from that space, but also to even work in that space as well, I can say people think that when you're either eating fine dining, you think that you're eating clean. You're not. You're not. Look, you're just eating. You're eating a fancy plate on a nice, look, a nice glass white plate with a different shape. That's it.
That's it.
Everybody's eating the same thing and taking it in. Now, even if you go to your Trader Joe's, I will say that those are fresh vegetables, but also too, the difference between them is I know for sure they get their fruits, they're produced in-house, but also too, they either get them from outside of the country. I don't know if it's from Russia or so. I don't want to put that part out there. But they get them imported, but they're also growing and producing them too. But then again, you look at it, there's not an influx of that.
Right.
And then and as someone like me who can eat a watermelon and eat that just alone, lose weight off of it, and also too, even still be fulfilled off of it in a day, one thing I can say is just the taste is starting to even become poisoning.
Yep. Because they as those spraying all this pesticide, that fruit takes some of it in. It may not take all of it, but it takes some of it.
It takes a lot, yeah.
It's just melon and water. That's it. It's like it ain't too much stuff that goes through the process. So I definitely understand it, and we got to get back to the farm. We got to get back to taking care of the land. We got to get back to being in the garden. That's why I say, like Adam in the garden. This is where I thrive. This is where I survive. If anything, if the grocery store shut down tomorrow, I can go forward and find food. I can go hunt. I can go fish. I can go be self-sufficient.
I hope you get you a botanical garden or something. I really do hope you own one day.
It's in the works. It's in the works.
Oh yeah, because I would love that for you. You know what? And then too, think about it. Because as you were saying,
we have a market.
You paying right. Guess what? I'm gonna make sure it's marketed around the whole world.
I can do that.
Decreed and declared. Look, because I just came off of one of my marketing assignments where I recently had globalized a Nigerian designer's firm. I took her all the way from Nigeria, put her in Europe, put her in Asia, put her over here in America too. So and our campaign has been running since August, and she's still doing global numbers just off of the off of the campaign. Not only that, she's receiving different audience in Latin America, South America, also too here in the USA. She's doing it in Asia, the Middle East, back in Africa for her as well. So, yeah.
Right, you're right on time.
Look, right, okay, and then too, also as well, I did not even use any ads for my work, so.
No, I'm about exposure, however the exposure come, and make sure that people are wanting what I got to offer. And I know this is once again the niche, but a lot of my contracts are all city governments, residential here and there, but a bulk.
But you need to be in the city. You need a city. If anything, you need a state.
That's how the impact. That's where the impact comes, because the city moves, make some moves. Cool. People got to rally up. The city got to adopt it. Okay, yeah, we believe y'all, and then they do it. With the city, go straight to the city. Bam. Right, this is what we do.
Right.
Doing this right here. So that's why Andre is in the pocket. I just got to come to him with the plan. Hey, we want to do this right here. We want to do this right here. I just need him to say, yeah. Like, you see my work. Mama ready.
I think that means it's almost time to go. Anybody can build something that looks good on opening day. The real question is, how will it perform years from now? And with today's residential and commercial developments facing growing challenges, all surrounding around stormwater management, sustainability, and long-term site performance, that's why planning matters. And that's why environmental design shouldn't be an afterthought. Harpscape Environmental Design partners with residential and commercial developers, construction companies, development departments, and project teams to integrate nature-based solutions, including stormwater management strategies and green infrastructure solutions. Because great development isn't about what gets built, it's about what lasts. If you're planning a project and searching for conservation expertise that supports both people and places, Harpscape is ready to start the conversation on conservation. Visit www.harpscapeenvironmental.com and complete the form to connect.
And don't forget to add that Chrissy sent you.